So, tell me about Connie.
Yeah, Constance was born in Calicut in 1934,
32.
in 1932, and I was 4 years old at the time. 1928 I was born. And I remember that when she came back from the hospital, the taxi cab came back and brought her, and the taxi cab had, those days for the horns, they had a big rubber ball, and there were two snakes on each side, and when they pressed this thing, the horn would come out, and I was fascinated with that. Anyway, my father then was the district munsif, that is the county court judge in Calicut, and he was there for 3 years. And this Pelli Norona and his wife was Constance's godfather and godmother. And Pelli Norona was brought up as an orphan by my grandfather, and he educated him, and he was a schoolmaster in Calicut. And then after Calicut, I think they went to, Dad was transferred to a place called Manjeri. There's another place in Malabar. Those days it was called Malabar, on the west coast. And every 3 years he was transferred from one place to another. In the beginning he first went to a place called Manjeri. And that's where, and after that, Hermie was born in Madras, and then she also went to Manjeri with him. And Esmond was also born in Madras, and then from Manjeri we went to Canino, and Constance went to that school. There was a convent school in Canino, and he was there for 3 years. And after that, he was transferred to Tellicherry for the last 2 years. That's the time when he retired in 1941. And Constance and Hermie and Avis used to go to the local schools, local convent schools in those places. And that's where they had their education. And they used to attend Mass over there. And there was a church in Calicut, in Canino, and Telcherry. And then after that, when he retired, he came to Madras. And then we stayed in Madras from 1941 to 1942. And in 1942, when the Japanese overran Burma, and they were coming up to Assam, and this a Japanese American woman who had gone and lived in Japan. She was known as Tokyo Rose. She came and bombed the harbor in Madras. And sometime in April in 1942. So then all of us, the whole family, left and went to Bangalore. But during the time that when we were in Madras, the girls were during the time when we were growing up, the girls were all the time with our parents, and the boys were all with our aunt and uncle, who was he was a doctor in Madras, and my aunt Mabel Gear, she was a widow with two daughters, Blossom and Merle, and we stayed with them, and we went to school in Madras to the St. Kevin's School, which was a girls' school, and the boys were allowed up till age 10. That is ABC 1, 2, 3 standard over there. And then after that we had to go to St. Mary's Boys' School from 4th, 5th, 6th and 7th standard and 9th standard. And then Eustace did his high school in 1942, and I was in the 6th standard. And in April, when the Japanese bombed Madras, we all went to Bangalore, and we went to St. Joseph's School. The boys went to St. Joseph's School, and the girls went to another girls' school in Bangalore, where they did some part up to middle school, I think, over there. And Esmond and I did a high school in 1944. And then after that, in 1945, we left and went back to Madras. My dad got a job as a superintendent of the FINS, the Friend in Need Society. And I went to Loyola College, 45 to 46, 47. And after that, I got into engineering college from 47 to 51. And Esmond went into medical school from 1947 to 1955. And I graduated from engineering college in 1951. And Constance and Hermie and Avis went to the convent school and they finished the high school. And Constance got a first class in the high school examination. And after that she studied, she went to Puduppet convent and learned shorthand and typing. And she was very diligent in that. She would come home and then she would practice with a timepiece on doing shorthand and doing the thing, and then she would go to a place where they had these typewriters and type. And after she finished that, she got, after a year or so of that typing school, she got a job in Crompton Parkinson's. It was an English company that was selling, electrical company selling electric bulbs and other electrical equipment. And she worked there as a stenographer for about 2 years. And then when Dad was in the FINS and he worked on the newspaper, he saw an advert for Burma Shell as a secretary. So he got her to type out a letter, a resume of experience and a schooling, and applied for the job. And the superintendent, and one of my father's, when my father was in law college, after he finished law college, he went he worked as a law clerk in the High Court, doing the brief cases for 3 High Court judges, Justice Wadsworth, Justice Bell, and Justice Riley. And then the superintendent and Justice Wadsworth was then the president of the FINS, the Friend in Need Society. So Dad talked to him, told him that Con had applied for this job in Burma Shell. So he spoke to one of the English bosses in Burma Shell by name Pugh. And then Con was called for an interview, and she went and she sat for the typing test, and she did well. And then she was selected as a confidential secretary to one of the bosses over there. And those were very good, well-paying jobs in Burma Shell. And she had a station wagon to come and pick her up every morning at work and take her to the office. And every afternoon, all the secretaries would get into this station wagon and go to the Gymkhana Club and have lunch there and then come back. And then every year she would get 1 month's vacation holiday, so she would get a first class, they would pay the first class fare to any hill station where she would go, plus in addition they would give her 1 month's salary as vacation pay. And then she worked there from I think 19, we went there in 1945, and from 1947, 1949 I think, right up to the time she left India.
1963.
In 1963. She worked in Burma Shell. And then she got a big payout, about 45,000 rupees. And then her boss, Satyan Anand, asked her what he could do for her. And then she told him that my cousin, Grenville Dias, would like to get a job in Burma Shell. So Satyan Anand said, okay, tell him to apply, and I will check that he gets a job in Permission. And then after that day, she went away to Canada with the 2 children.
Then I'm going to stop it, and I want you to tell a little about yourself and your childhood and the problems you had with the polio